viewing and what's going on. So we're live now. We were not before. And we have no viewers, but it may not have been.
Wilhelm almost got out of helping us set this up, but literally we would have been like,
okay. It's looking good though.
Okay, it's working.
Oh, is it Adam?
And then are we quarterbacking what they see? That's probably right. So that's why he just showed us Adam. So if somebody asks Adam a question, right now they see Adam.
Mm-hmm. And then if you.
Okay. And they probably see us.
3 viewers.
And now it's us.
We have 3 viewers. Hey, amazing.
Can all the viewers ask questions or only certain viewers? Wasn't that
viewers? We're still figuring out how this thing works.
Yeah.
So sorry if you just give us like 5 minutes to figure out.
You can watch us do it.
Yeah. Or also viewers jump in the chat so that we know you're hearing what you want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
You can ask whatever you want to ask.
Acting Manitou.
Oh, that's probably me. That's me.
Yeah, because that was there before.
Yeah, because I'm using.
Is there a way to see who the viewers? Oh, 4 viewers. Is there a way to see the viewers, who they are?
Can you click?
If I click on viewer thing. By the way, if anyone knows how to use Google Hangout, please tell us. If I click on viewers, nothing happens. Let's see.
5 viewers.
Invite people. Mute microphone. Turn live.
What happens if you type something in the chat?
6 viewers. This is all happening.
It is happening. 3 guys in front of a fireplace. 1 guy in New York.
So for those people who are watching, why don't we say we're going to start at 4. It's 4:05 right now, 7:05 New York time. We'll say we'll really start in earnest in 5 minutes at 4:10 to let people join. Smoke them if you got them. Run to the bathroom if you have to. Get a drink. Here's Adam Fleming. Whoa, red light, red light.
You're all red.
I'm playing with my hue light.
One of those viewers could be Wilhelm, I guess.
But now there's only 3.
Oh, yeah, I know. We're
losing viewers.
We're losing people pretty fast.
4 viewers.
Take our shirts off or something? I don't know.
Nobody wants to see.
You definitely don't want to see the Dare creators as that.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Not so much.
But yeah. so I'm just gonna check to see if anyone has responded here. Okay.
Talk to us. Tell us what you want to know.
Okay, that's all good. So yeah, welcome to the Dare Backer Google Hangout. We think it is a small feat that we've been able to actually figure out how to do this. You have myself, Adam Salke. This is David Bren. In a moment, Michael Cassidy is going to be right here. And this is Adam Fleming. Shot of Adam Fleming. And if you have any questions for us about this process or the film or what the sequel is going to be like, feel free to type it into the group chat area. And hey, is the group chat only for people who are participating? Everyone can attend. Okay, so I guess you are free. You're in the group chat. You can ask us questions if you want.
Don't be shy.
In lieu of your questions, we're just going to tell. Oh, someone just arrived late. I might add.
Oh.
Just kidding, he was already here.
People in the back.
So
had to feed the dog.
So yeah, it is Saturday, the very first day of filming on the Dare project, aka Dare 2.5, aka if you have any good title ideas,
exactly.
We're all ears, begins Friday, the 15th of December, just 6 days away, which is pretty crazy. Getting very excited. We have a production meeting tonight at and just after this, all the crew is coming over to talk through the script and make sure everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. And
we have a house location.
We have a house, an amazing location.
A beautiful location.
Have you seen pictures?
I've seen. I got a walkthrough video from David. He
texted
me.
Amazing. What'd you think?
It looks lovely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very cool location. It kind of feels a little bit like Cousin, I think, to the house in the short. A little bit. It has like some similar architectural elements, like those horizontal lines and sort of like the color of some of the beams.
A lot of glass.
Yeah, a lot of glass.
Yeah.
It feels related. It has, I'm sure this is a big surprise, a beautiful swimming pool.
Ew. Outdoor.
Which outdoor at this time.
Because we're in LA.
We're in LA. You know, interestingly, the indoor swimming pool was indoor in the short film. It was indoor in the feature. And the reason was that we entertained some outdoor pools, but it was, it's too expensive to light an outdoor pool is basically the problem. Because depending on what the area is like, if it's just a pool out in a yard, right, then you have 360 degrees of earth and nature to light. And it's very difficult to light. You can light it if you have enough money, but as a tiny school short film, like we were making back when we made the original Dare, we couldn't afford it. So actually in one of the houses we were looking at an outdoor pool, they also had an indoor pool.
Oh, right.
So we did it there. Then for the feature, we actually found a house with an outdoor pool, which I guess we could afford to light it, but then we lost that location last minute and ended up shooting at an indoor pool. And then for this location, the budget is just a little higher. Still super low budget independent film, mind you, but the budget is just a little higher. And also it's kind of an enclosed area, a little bit of an enclosed area because the house is on two sides of the pool and then there's like a big bush on the third side and then the fourth side is totally open to the sky. But the DP, Rick Siegel, said that we were able to do it. So this time it's gonna be outside and I'm gonna let you guys chat about something while I just grab a little water.
Hey.
Hey, we've got two viewers.
And one of them is probably Wilhelm.
Yeah, one of them is Wilhelm, right? So we've got.
Or are we the third viewer and we're just talking to ourselves?
Are we just talking to ourselves?
I don't know what that I have to say. Adam Fleming's
it's
here.
actually kind of nice.
Yeah, it is really nice.
It's very relaxed.
Very
this is the most
intimate.
relaxed we're gonna
down
be.
to 2 viewers.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. Watch it for as long as you want. No obligation to watch for longer. If you have any, I feel like one of them is probably my brother. If you have any question
Hi, Jonathan.
as we go along, just let us know. But any production questions
See,
from
what
our
can we
actors?
talk about?
Read a little bit from the script.
I don't have that handy.
So what happened in the week leading up to a 4-day film shoot?
A lot.
It's a very good question. The truth is, what I'm doing is very simple. Excuse me. And what David and our production team, Felicia Hunter and John Palmer, are doing is much more complicated because they have so many details to work out. The flip side of that is that when the shoot begins, if they've done a good job, David, Felicia, and John will pretty much mostly be able to kind of kick back and like be on Facebook and Instagram the whole time.
Right.
Whereas I will be like, look at this shot.
Right.
But I'm in a much calmer. That's what's going on in my head. But outside, I'll just be like,
Yeah.
I don't actually.
This is what it looks like on you. Actually, I can say firsthand, it looks like this on you. A little bit more blinking.
I blink a lot?
Yeah. No, not a lot, but it just increases because you're so peaceful.
It's one of the reasons why because I did a little bit of auditioning in high school.
I think it's just Wilhelm now.
Oh, we lost everyone. That's okay. I'll just, here you go.
I think we chew up 5 minutes. And there we go. Now we're just
Adam, now we're just
Fleming.
looking at you. I'll just tell you guys, I did a little bit of auditioning in high school. Did you guys know that? Did you know that?
No.
For commercials. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, I had a guidance counselor in my high school who used to be an actor, and he was like, I think, he was like, you got something, kid. And basically he introduced you to his manager, whose claim to fame was that she discovered Tom Cruise. And she was like a grizzled old lady, like in her 1-bedroom apartment, and crazy, with like headshots all over the wall.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went on 12 auditions.
12.
I got 1 call back, and I booked 1 job.
That's
I
cool.
did a McDonald's commercial when I was 16, but it was a buyout. It was like not that much money. It wasn't like a national thing for France.
Right.
Yeah, it was like an internet. Anyway, the reason I brought this up, it's related to what you said, is that as a part of all this, I took an on-camera acting class, and I noticed when they played back the video to me that I was blinking a lot.
Yeah.
And when you blink on camera, I don't want to get in your heads or anything. It's really distracting.
Yeah.
Like it's like this.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't paying attention. I was like nervously doing it.
You have to
If
do
I
it.
think about it, then I can stop myself.
No, but I think on camera, like if you do it very like methodically and for a reason, it's actually can be amazing.
Yeah.
Like just one blink after a stare, like has power. And sometimes I write that stuff actually in the script. Not that they all listen to me, but Adam and I have a very, well, actually the four of us are actually, you know, Adam and I have obviously spent a lot more time together, but the four of us do have a shorthand from working together before, and we just have an implicit trust. So it kind of just makes things really fun in that sense. I mean, on the production side of things right now, everything's moving along smoothly, but there are always hiccups every day. And there are so many details to manage on this production because it isn't a small production.
No.
This is not like the first one.
Tell us about some of the details
Yeah,
that
let's
you're
talk.
handling.
Okay, so they're not that exciting, but here's one. We are going to have 20 extras in this film. And we can't have them park near the location. So we have to find a parking lot to have them park and then shuttle them with a van, with a pass van. But it's not that easy to find a lot near this location. And the farther away we get,
More complicated.
more
More
complicated
time.
it gets. So that's just one small detail that we're working on.
Side question, and a lot of people who don't live in LA want to know this. Is there a chance that any of our homes or the home that we're shooting in could burn to the ground?
Well,
People wanna know.
the home that we're in right now, which is my home, is not far from the fires. It's about 3 miles away from the Skirball fire.
Here where we are now.
Yeah.
Right.
The location is much farther away.
We have some.
Oh, good.
You know what? Could you hand it to me?
What is it? Oh, wait, why is
We
it
have some
showing up
chatter.
there?
It's in YouTube. and
It's
we're
not
in
showing
Google.
up here.
Oh.
Yeah. James, you're gonna watch us figure this
this
out.
This is
delay.
from James. Dare has been influential to my life, and I want to thank you all so much for working so hard on this sequel and creating the original. You're very welcome, James. We're making it for people like you, and hopefully many more people as well.
Yeah,
And
ask
this
us
is-
something if you want to know.
Yeah, if you have any
something.
questions, ask.
Yeah,
And
ask
then,
away.
Liz, what's your take on gay marriage? Pro,
Yeah.
always and forever. Should have happened a long time ago,
Yeah.
and hopefully will always be a right in the future.
Yeah.
Anyone who loves each other and wants to get married should be able to do it, no matter who it is.
Totally agree as one of the two gay men here, but also I also don't think marriage is for everyone. And there is a certain very heteronormative thing about getting married and what that means and what that symbolizes that doesn't necessarily apply to everyone. So I am very pro anyone who wants to get married for any reason. I'm all for it. However, I don't think that it needs to be necessarily continued as the norm of our society, especially gay society.
Not that all this has to be super political.
No, I'm answering.
Not that all
question.
this has to be
Fleming.
super political.
Yeah, what do
but
you
I think?
think?
But I think that hopefully, many years from now, no one will even think that it's heteronormative. It should just be something that's available for everyone.
I'm cutting to Fleming now. What does Fleming say?
Agreed. Yeah. Legislatively, yes, it should be a right for everyone, of course. But then
Is
culturally,
marriage
it'll grow to be whatever it's going to be.
Well, what do you think? Do you think it's heteronormative, or do you think not? Or do you think I'm
Yeah,
wrong?
absolutely heteronormative. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, we as humans, we should be able to do whatever we want. I have friends in thruples. I have, we know people who, yeah, and those should be respected and
Adam,
just like everything else.
Couple marriage.
don't give away what happens in this. Like I wrote something that was, not only meaningful but also pornographic. No, just kidding. I'm absolutely kidding.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so we're gonna cut back to us. I'm gonna quarterback this part. You
Live
quarterback that.
switching.
So we have a question.
Question from James. Have any aspects or moments from any of your lives gone into this Dare sequel?
Ah,
Hi, I'm the writer.
writer.
100%. All of this came from a very personal place for me. I've talked about it some. I haven't talked about it that much. So for all two of you who are watching, there was.
Four people,
Well, I think one of them is Wilhelm. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe.
probably.
Probably. Anyway, yes, there was a Johnny in my life, and all of this was inspired by him in some ways, in my relationship to him and my questions about him. Not that everything happened. There was no blowjob in a swimming pool, but there was a night that was absolutely reminiscent of what happened, invoking the same feelings that the first short had, and I found myself wondering, what would become of these two guys, of these two men, as they became men and not boys anymore. And definitely reflected on my own life as a gay man. I'm a little bit older than our two guys, but not that much. There's a lot of existential questions that this new short raises. There's a lot of continuation of the connection that Ben and Johnny shared when they were 17 that still is somehow ignites both of them in a certain way. And I'm excited to explore that. I'm excited for them to explore that, the two guys. I'm excited for Adam to explore that. But absolutely, there are lines in this script that are things that I think and wonder about. And they are also inspired by these two characters. They're inspired by the real Johnny, and they're inspired by Adam Fleming and Michael Cassidy, because indelibly they are Ben and Johnny in my mind, and always will be. That's just how it is. We made a feature, they were not Ben and Johnny, but they are Ben and Johnny. Like they are the OG. Like that's how it is.
Are there any moments from your life that are in the sequel script?
Yes. Well, moments specifically or feelings?
Could be either, or a piece of dialogue that you heard at a party and you are out, or you just like as a writer wrote down a notebook and was like,
there's definitely a new.
I gotta use that line somewhere.
There's a new character that's introduced that I'm excited for you guys to meet, named Justin, and definitely inspired by people I've met and known and seen in Los Angeles, gay men. You'll be for those of you who are attracted to men, whoever you may be, you will be happily pleased with our casting decision. He's also a great actor. But in this one, it's less moments from my actual life, because I haven't talked to my Johnny in a long time, although we actually just reconnected for the first time.
Snap!
Yeah.
Reality show instead of a movie.
He's kind of amazing. He's kind of an amazing guy. And yeah, it's just, this is more inspired by the story that we told and the way it touched you and the emotions that it evoked. A lot of feelings that I'm going through in my life right now, but less so specific moments that I've experienced.
Can I suggest that we flip over to Adam to keep it even, and maybe he talks it all about what's your connection to Ben in the two iterations that you're working on?
Well, originally, I definitely felt I understood Ben's, outsider. I've always been an outsider. I've always felt like that and struggled with that. And I was a theater nerd in high school. I was on stage and, was made fun of for being in theater and, was always an outsider. And then now with the sequel, I love where he goes. I just had my fitting the other day and I actually get to wear like fitted clothing. Ben has grown up and he has a point of view and, he's more comfortable in his skin. And so I'm really excited for the sequel to get to say some of the things that Ben gets to say to Johnny after so long. So that's in there, and I'm really excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm happy that you like dialogue that I wrote.
Same question to you, Marcel.
Yeah. Same question to you.
Let's see. When I work, I've been working on the script off and on the last couple of days, and I've been thinking about. I don't have a lot of the things that I think Johnny's been up to, and I don't really have a similar. I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I have a similar sexual experience, but it was with a woman from high school that was kind of similar, just kind of very charged, but also very confusing. I have that now that I think about it. But what I do have as I work on it is this feeling of oh my God, do I exist? Is my life happening apart from me almost? And I think that again, without giving too much away, that's what keeps coming up for me as I work on this piece is what happened. And the really special thing about this, the why of this piece, I think for me, from where I sit in it, and I think it's many things, is that Ben is the single person that Johnny's ever met who can do that to him, who can go, yeah, but you also used to be fill in the blank, or remember when we fill in the blank. And that impact on him is like a fucking magical spell that he can't choose or get away from. And it finds him in this piece. And I have that. I have the feelings. I don't really have the person, like the trigger person, the way that Johnny does, but I definitely have the feelings of like, oh my God, I've missed everything. Like I haven't even been paying attention. What's wrong with me? Like I have those things, you know. My kid just turned 7, and that's one of many things where I'm like, did I miss it? Yeah.
That is crazy.
I know, it's impossible. Yeah, James is saying that's so amazing. I think we all had a Johnny in our lives. I know I did. Yeah, I have to say, like, as a guy who doesn't have a Johnny, I mean, I guess I do, maybe, I don't know, but it's so awesome to hear from people who respond to this piece and say the things they say. We put a bunch of it in the Kickstarter video. You know, we see it in the comments on the YouTube, on the original. People will walk up to me on the street and be like, it's happened to me twice in the last year.
Oh my God, my least favorite line.
Or Dare.
You told me this once. Somebody asked you to say like all I need is a bong hit and a blowjob.
Well, that very recently.
My least favorite line in the original short.
Oh, I get people love that.
I know, I hate
on
it.
an airplane with that.
Really?
But the straight guy in me was like, yeah, this line is good.
Oh God.
Yeah, dude,
I
bong hit and
cringe every
blowjob.
time I hear it.
Yeah, bong hit and blowjob is a slam dunk. But yeah, people come up to me often. Like I had a great conversation with somebody on the street in Toronto last fall, where somebody came up to me and said, "Hey man, I'm a big fan," and I said, "Oh, thanks." And he said, "I saw you 800 years ago in this short film,
Awesome.
and it was very meaningful to me because I'm gay and I didn't know how to make sense of that." And it's really cool. What I like about the short is the short isn't like it's not really about how to be gay at all.
Well, no. Yeah.
And that's so cool. It just sort of holds a mirror up to a moment, and people are like, I feel that,
yeah,
and
I'm
then
not-
it's over.
Yeah, of course. I'm not interested in writing about what it means to be gay because
Yeah.
that's just not an interesting thing for me. That's a personal, individual experience. Yes, there is a collective experience, of course. But I feel that there are people who are far better qualified to write about that. I think I'm really good at really specific moments of connection and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I think, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
yeah,
It's just that I think one of the things that made the original short really work, it is sort of even odd as someone who's like a creator, as we are, to even look at something and be like, yeah, that worked.
Yeah.
You know,
but
like,
it did.
because a lot of times you don't know. A lot of times you don't really know if your work means anything to anyone or if it
Right.
resonates.
No,
or if
no,
you
of
hit the
course.
bullseye.
I think that's why it did. That's why it did work. It's because it was so specific. It was such a specific thing, David, that like that's what people tune into. You know, when you see these movies and they're just kind of these like ideas or these giant things, you're like, oh, what the fuck? But when you see these movies that are so specifically like laser pointed at one thing, you're like, oh my God, yeah, I know what that means. I know what that feels like.
I would also say
That's what it's
specific. I would also say specific about something that's universal, and that's not necessarily just a gay experience, because the Dare short film was not about coming out of the closet. It was about this kid, an outsider, reaching for someone that he thought was completely out of his league. You know, unattainable,
Unexpected connection, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that everyone, whether it's a guy or a girl, has had, or two guys and two girls or whatever, or a throuple, has had that experience. And I think that's why it really connected with people. And in fact, if you look at we can look, so the YouTube video has 12.5 million views, and we can look at the analytics, and it's like 55% male and 45% female.
Yeah,
Oh,
girls
wow.
really
Watches it.
like this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A lot of young girls, college age girls, they fucking love it. Their comments are all over the.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know.
so it's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
I think
it's a
we can also
universal
you guys are
experience, yeah.
on it. So I think that's partially it.
Not anymore. Now we're on walkers, Fleming. They're gonna we're gonna toddle out on walkers.
Hey guys,
Hey, Johnny!
Yeah, Johnny and Ben are wheelchaired out and dumped.
Yeah, exactly. We better get them wet and dump them in.
Exactly.
All right. What else can we
all right,
say?
What else? I don't
We
know.
did our
Well, I guess I never really said what I'm going to be doing this week while the
Okay.
producers are keeping it all together with sawdust and tape. I am going to be thinking a lot about the visual of Dare and a lot about the specific sort of like acting moments and how I might want to talk to Adam and Michael about specific moments in the film to try and get something to try and work with them to create something that maybe they'll just do, because you have to be open to that. You watch the monitor and you're like, God, they're doing exactly what I thought. Or maybe they hadn't thought of. And then you get to say, hey, you know, would you try, that was amazing. Could you try it this way? And then a conversation, you know, happens where they are maybe understanding that and they want to try it, or maybe need more clarification. So a lot of thought about that. A lot of that thought is done in advance. So there's that, and then there's something called shot listing, which is basically figuring out what the actual shots are going to be. I'm basically editing the film in advance of making the movie. That's I think when you're directing, what you really want to strive for, to show up on set with an edit of the movie in your head, and then try and get that, but also be ready to let it go.
So let me ask you 2 questions about that. One is, it sounds like almost that you're making a to-do list. Would you say that that's?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a to get list.
To get list.
Yeah, it's the shots, the moments, and the performances, basically.
But you're also choosing costumes and production
Yes.
design.
Well, yeah, I'm all doing all that stuff as we go. Like the costume designer will send me and David, pictures, and the production designer who creates like the look of the set, or like, this couch is going to be this kind of couch and this kind of lamp, that kind of thing. Will be sending me pictures, and I'll be saying yes, no, maybe, let's discuss. So all those creative conversations are happening. We just got another comment from James, and which is really moving and wonderful, and thank you. And I will say that one of the reasons why this sequel is happening is that, James basically said that Dare helped him come to terms with his sexuality and inspired him to come out because he saw himself in Ben. And thank you, James. Really meaningful. And over the years, David and I, and maybe Adam and Michael too, but David and I have got emails and met people in person. Sometimes we just, Dave and I David is teaching now. I used to teach and hope to teach. I actually did some teaching. So we're teaching, and we have students, and don't know how to talk about the teaching, obviously.
Yeah, and you're so conflicted about
I'm very
that.
conflicted about it.
I wish you were so passionate about directing this movie.
People came to us and basically told us that they saw the Dare short film when they were in high school, or they were in a moment in their life when they didn't feel comfortable being out about their sexuality, and the film made them feel less alone. And so basically hearing, word for word comments just like that, hearing those comments over the years, and of course the fact that the short has gotten such a following on YouTube, are really the things that inspired us to really to make a sequel.
Yeah, and I just want to
thank you,
say, James, I by no means did I mean to say that it's not all about being gay, because of course it's about being gay, because I'm gay, and because I went through this as a high schooler, and I was closeted, and I had a very difficult time with it. And it was not, in the 90s, it was not a great time to be coming out. There was no one to look up to. There were very few public gay figures that I had to look up to. So all of my activities as a homosexual man were a kind of underground, and not underground. Obviously there was no Grindr then, and not that way. But when I had this experience that I did with my Johnny, again, not actually as it happened in the short, it was an incredible moment for me, because he was somebody that was completely unattainable to me in my mind. And he was beautiful, and he was perfect, and he was also dark, and he also had demons. And I think you saw that more in the feature than you do in the short with Johnny. But having that moment that I never thought I could have gave me hope more than anything. It gave me hope. Not that I was getting what I necessarily wanted in full, but that maybe someday I could. And if I can make you feel that way, we can make you feel that way, that is incredibly meaningful to me. And I don't really care about anything else. That's really what I care about. So thank you, James, for that. Should we switch to, what are we?
Adam, what's going on in NYC?
Just hanging. It's snowing.
Oh, is
snowing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it snowed today.
In an early draft of the sequel,
Yes.
it opened with Ben FaceTiming or Skyping with Alexa, who's the girl from the short.
Yeah.
and she's like, you know, Ben, well, it's not giving away too much, but Ben is in LA doing some work and possibly interviewing for a job. And in the sequel, and he's in the opening scene was Skyping with Alexa, who's in New York, and it's snowing.
Yeah.
In the background.
That's how I started it. Yeah, I did. I wanted
She's
to do
like,
that.
boo, we miss you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
I remember that too.
Why do I write the word boo so often?
Yeah, you
That's
do.
my
It's all
use
that.
that. I'm not so. I have to. This might be cut.
We'll forget to
And
say.
I'm totally rewriting some dialogue, by the way, you guys. Just just a little bit.
So
Just a
David's
little bit.
also writing in addition to figuring out shuttles.
Yeah. I'm taking some. I've been very. Everyone has been very clear with me, from Adam to all of the production team, that I need to have time carved out just to be the writer and not to be a producer.
Yeah.
So that absolutely will happen before the shoot. It's just hard
In 10 days, you can have all that time.
Yeah.
to be the writer after the shoot.
Well, we need another
No,
sequel.
dude, I need another.
After we shoot it, we need another
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna put together. Yeah, we have a lot of ideas. We'll see what happens with this, but we have a lot of ideas that of how this could continue, assuming that our heroes still love us by the end of this shoot.
We'll see.
So, Fleming, do you have anything to add?
Well, I don't know.
When
I
do you
think
come to LA?
it really only has one thing to add. Whip it out.
Oh.
Oh no.
People like that fucking line.
They do.
Oh, people like that line. No, I come to LA on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
And what does an actor do in the week before they shoot a short film?
This short film, you go to the gym every day. That's for sure.
2-a-days, dude. No food, 2-a-days.
No food, 2-a-days. That's what's happening.
2 days.
Don't
Yeah.
get too skinny.
Are you saying you're hungry?
I'm starving. I'm starving. Yeah, it's rough. Oh shit.
So
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to come to LA. I'm
Yeah,
really-
once he gets here, we have things for him to do.
I'm getting a haircut.
and a haircut
Getting
together.
a pedicure.
Yeah, he's asking for a pedicure. We're definitely getting a haircut together, and then Adam and Fleming and I will probably have a little gay boy lunch.
Sure.
And yeah, they do their own preparations. You know, I have a question for you guys. We're down to 2, so I don't know, maybe just be us. But
This could be the
could be
home
closed.
stretch.
Yeah, let's close it out right
This
here.
is a good question.
In conclusion.
Have you two seen each other since the short in person?
No, just like
No. Yeah, this is it. Our
And how-
Kickstarter.
Do you have any? What is it? Do you have any kind of like trepidation about being like reconnecting and recreating what you had in the original, or not?
I don't, because to be really truly honest with you, like I can't think about that as an actor.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Fair.
I also have, I'm fortunate that I know all you guys and that I trust you, and I know that Adam and you in post will sort of like turn it into something that I don't have any control, like that I can't plan. But also, it's very distracting for me to think about that. So
I should not have
tend
asked that
not to.
question.
No, I don't think it's a bad question. I just think that's like the most candid answer.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you, Michael. Like we're not setting out to make this, thing happen. If we go in and we present our choices as actors and then we butt heads, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what we want to do. We want to like create that tension and just let it happen. If we think about it or try to make it happen, it's going to be weird. It'll be false.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about that at all with Michael. I feel like that's just how we are.
It's because the script is so good. Let's be
That's it.
I
honest.
think so. I think you're right.
I will say for my part that I rewatched the short lately, like a couple days ago or something like that, and I find it a little intimidating.
Whoa,
He
really?
did
A
say
little
that
bit.
to me. Yeah.
Like
Final product.
I as the director feel the weight of
Yes.
doing the thing that Michael is, very,
Oh,
very clear
really?
that I'm going to do, which I will
Really?
do. But I feel a responsibility in doing it, which is one of the reasons
But
why I'm
here's-
working so hard at it.
Let me say this though about filmmaking. I think, and I mean this except for writers actually, but my favorite thing about filmmaking is that you're on set, and when it works, everyone is trusting
Yes.
their own ability and their own contribution and nothing else. They're not overlapping. However, I think writers have to fucking nail it before the crew shows up to shoot.
Very true. Very true.
But I think being on set as an actor, it's like, I literally can't do anything for this except relax and tell the truth.
It's hard because I feel intimidated too, but the difference for me, I think, is that my script has actually been presented to a good number of people, you know, to actors, to all the people working on this, to friends. So I've gotten feedback that's been positive. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to reach you in the way that I hope it does. But I have put my heart into it, and I'm going to continue to do that over the next couple of days. I'm going to look at every moment to make sure that I set these people up for success on set. And I take that very seriously, and they know that. And we all, by the way, we've all had input. Like, I've been on the phone with Michael. I've gotten emails from Adam. Like, obviously, Adam Salke and I are constantly in contact about the script. So it's always having input, you know, and it's at the end of the day, it's the writer's job to filter that input. What is going to help make it better, and what is actually an interesting note, but not the choice that I want to make. Mm-hmm. And also, sometimes as a writer, you get notes that are kind of the wrong notes. They tell you an idea that you don't want to put in, but it's a code that something is not working in that moment. So their idea might be wrong, but the fact that they're noticing it's not working is very helpful. So yeah, we're all a little intimidated, but we're in it, we're trusting, and it's happening. And that's it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that is the end of this Google Hangout.
Thank you, James.
Thank you so much, James.
Let's flip over to Fleming. Fleming, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
There he is. Goodbye. See you soon, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. And what was her name? Michelle?
Liz.
Liz. Thanks, Liz.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Liz.
checking it out. Tell your friends.
Oh, acting Manitou.
I think
That was me. That was me.
You.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye.